Hello, my name is Joey and welcome to my ePortfolio, my final project in the Masters of Educational Technology program at the University of British Columbia. My ePortfolio is a showcase of the work that I have completed throughout my MET journey. In my guided tour, I will explain how and why my ePortfolio is organized the way it is, how it demonstrates what I've learned throughout my MET journey, how to navigate my ePortfolio, and finally, I will explain my metaphor, why I chose it, and what it means to me. The purpose of my ePortfolio is to provide a capstone learning experience and to meet the standards of the Teacher's Qualification Service. By doing so, my goal was to create an ePortfolio which demonstrates my understanding of the theories and knowledge gained throughout my MET experience. Furthermore, my ePortfolio will provide evidence of my ability to critically assess and draw conclusions regarding works and theories presented. The construction of my ePortfolio has been immensely important in solidifying the knowledge I've gained throughout completing the MET program. The creation of this ePortfolio will ensure that specific aspects of what I've learned and continue to learn will work in union with one another and other aspects of my learning. This goal aligns with another aspect of using the brain as my metaphor. That is, even though the brain relies on specialized areas to provide specific functions, each part of the brain must also work as a cohesive whole. My ePortfolio ties in well with the fundamental components of constructivist learning theory. It is based on an adaptive structure, like our brains, that can cohesively illustrate my present understanding and experience of educational technology, while also allowing for the addition of any new understandings of the dynamic field of educational technology. Our brains can be viewed as impressive pieces of technological equipment. Neuroplasticity enables our brains to continuously make new connections based on our ever-changing environments. Just as these new connections are constantly being made in the brain, I am continuously making new connections in my learning. I have chosen to use the brain as a metaphor for my ePortfolio, as the overall purpose of my ePortfolio is to make sense of the connections I've made in my learning throughout the MET program, and as well provide evidence of synthesis of the knowledge and theories learned. I believe I will continue to learn and make connections to my learning even after I complete the MET program. Therefore, my ePortfolio will be a dynamic document that I will amend according to my continued learning in the field of educational technology. My ePortfolio ties in well with the fundamental components of constructivist learning theory. It is based on an adaptive structure, like our brains, that can cohesively illustrate my present understanding and experience of educational technology, while also allowing for the addition of any new understandings of the dynamic field of educational technology. My ePortfolio is organized around 5 major sections of the brain: the frontal lobe, the occipital lobe, the temporal lobe, the parietal lobe, and the cerebellum. Each of these sections of the brain are located on the navigation bar at the bottom of the web page, along with an About Me navigation button, a Tour button, and a Home button to get you back to the front page of my ePortfolio. So let's talk about how to navigate through the various pages on my ePortfolio. Clicking on each section of the brain will take you to a new page with various items located on them. So for example, if you head to the bottom of the home page, or any page for that matter, you will see a navigation bar at the bottom of the page. By clicking on each section of the brain, this will take you to a new page with various items located on them. For example, when you click on the frontal lobe, this will take you to the core courses from the MET program. So, for example, let's click on the frontal lobe. Clicking on the frontal lobe reveals a page where ETEC 500, ETEC 510, ETEC 511, ETEC 512, and where my rubric are located. The frontal lobe is the largest lobe in the brain and is responsible for the following functions: problem solving, speech and language, planning and organizing, as well impulse control and decision making. The frontal lobe section of my ePortfolio is where you will find the core courses from the MET program. I have included all of the core courses in this section as the frontal lobe is the largest lobe of the brain and the core courses represent the largest portion of course material. Furthermore, the frontal lobe is responsible for higher mental functions, just as the core courses have been responsible for anchoring my deeper level connections with my elective coursework. The rubric I created is also located in this section, as it helped me with the planning and organizing of this ePortfolio. While in the frontal lobe section, you can click on any of the 4 core courses or rubric and they will take you to a new page. Let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the ETEC 500 tab. Clicking on the ETEC 500 button takes me to an ETEC 500 course site. So when you're here, you can see that on the left are my reflections, and on the right are where my artifacts reside. Clicking on different artifacts will reveal different things. For example, in ETEC 500, if I click on the article critique artifact, it allows me to download a PDF file on my paper, a critique on Beck and Featherson's study on the effects of incorporating a word processor into a Year 3 writing program. As well, you can download my literature review and my final research paper. At the bottom of the page, under the artifacts, you will see a sentence which says, "Click here to learn more about these artifacts." Let's go ahead and click that button. Clicking on that button reveals a new page of artifact reflections. Here, you can read about the different artifacts and my reflections and thoughts about the process. Okay, so whether you're in the frontal lobe section, the occipital lobe section, the temporal lobe, the parietal, or the cerebellum, these different sections of my website will take you to the different ETEC courses. And once you are in those course sections, you will be able to read about the course, the reflections that I've written. As well, you'll be able to visit any of my artifacts. Let's take a look at another course now. So now I'm going to click on the temporal lobe. Under the temporal lobe section, you will find my weekly reflections, my references, ETEC 521, and ETEC 530. Let's click on the Weekly Reflections tab. Clicking on the Weekly Reflections tab takes us to a page where I have documented my reflections on the making and the process of creating my ePortfolio. Here, you can view my weekly reflections and read about the challenges I faced while creating my ePortfolio, along with some of the tools I used to create it. As you can see, my ePortfolio is extremely easy to navigate. Just remember to look at the bottom of the page where you will find the majority of the navigational buttons. The MET journey has been both a challenge and joy to have been a part of. As you can tell, I've learned a great deal in this program. I thank you for taking the time to browse my site.